everybody. Welcome to the Sailor Moon Crystal After Show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Season 3, Episode 9, Act 34, Infinity 8, Infinite Labyrinth 1. Lots of titles, as per usual. We will be breaking down the episode along with returning guest star champion Keith Silverstein, a.k.a. the voice of Professor Tomoe. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
And in case anybody doesn't know the character that Keith provides the voice for, he did bring a visual
I brought it.
A visual aid.
Can I explain that this is just how he sits? This is accurate for the show.
Right.
For those of you who watch the series,
Yes.
you know that when he sits down, this is exactly how he
I
sits.
don't know that we ever see Professor Tomoe sitting down at any point in either
He's
Crystal or
always
the 90s
sitting in
anime.
a chair, right?
Yeah. In the 90s anime, he's mostly just a black blob with glasses.
Yes,
So-
yeah.
Who hunches over a desk and laughs
He's
maniacally.
always hunching over
Always.
something.
I
Yeah, well, he's
man,
super
it's
busy.
Terrible
Yeah.
posture.
Can you get scoliosis that late in life? I feel like you could develop it later, and
think
that's
so.
probably what's happening with
That's what's
Professor
going on.
Tomoe.
That's why he sits like this. And it's all come full circle.
Yeah.
What was with that long title? Why does the show have that many?
There are so many. They just love titles. They
Yeah.
really do.
They really
the
do.
90s anime was really. They had really long titles too, and like 20% of the time they had spoilers in them.
Yeah.
Like there were ones like it was like "Wish upon a star, Nephrite dies for love."
Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, let me discover that on my own.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no need to watch now. I got
well,
that.
I know what happens.
Yeah.
So,
My favorite is Saphir dies.
I know, because the thing is, it's like, at least with the Nephrite one, like, that's the second part of the title. But with the Saphir one, literally the first part of the title is Saphir dies. Wise man's evil plan. Like, what?
Like, okay.
All right, cool. Guess I don't need to watch it now because I know exactly what happens. Yes, anyway, guys, welcome to the Sailor Moon Crystal After Show. Thank you, everyone who is watching. If you are listening on iTunes, remember you can always watch us over on YouTube as well, which you should totally do so you can see this fabulous Professor Tomoe and all
Yes.
awkwardly sitting on the table. But if you are on iTunes, do leave us reviews. If you leave us a review, you'll get a shout out on the show, which somebody will later today because they left us an iTunes review. And thank you, everybody who is on YouTube right now watching us live. We have such a great live audience here every time we do the show. It's such a
fantastic.
delight. And remember, you can also tweet at us using the hashtag ABTVSMC to talk to us throughout the show, throughout the week, etc., and so forth. I'm Emma Fyffe. I can be tweeted at directly at my name, Emma Fyffe, EMMAFYFFE. I am joined by the fabulous panel of ladies whose names begin with M, Markeia McCarty.
That's me. You can find me on Twitter, MarkeiaMcCarty. And thank you. Yes, I am rocking the Sailor Mercury blue.
Yeah, she totally is. I love everything about it. And Megan Salinas.
Hey guys, you can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
And our returning guest star champion, as previously mentioned, Keith Silverstein.
Hello, hello. Feel free to tweet at me at Silvertalkie, SILVERTALKIE.
Who, as I said, was kind enough to bring this professor. I feel like this is
I
like
had to, because Kaola Knight was here last week.
Yeah, I heard
so
about Kaola Knight, yeah.
He got jealous.
Yeah.
He wanted to join too.
But he tragically is missing his glasses.
Yeah.
Which makes him a
so
good guy
if you have
now.
a pair, send them in.
Yeah, if any of you guys are like, doll accessory crafting champions.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Please craft him a new pair of glasses and send it to us here at AfterBuzz, and we will get them to
We'll forward it on to
Keith's
Keith.
doll.
I mean, maybe I haven't even looked. Maybe I could just eBay that, and it would
Yeah,
be very
you
easy
might
to
be able
find
to,
Professor
yeah.
Tomoe glasses.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Professor Tomoe.
Yeah, it might be
toy
easy.
glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
gonna
it'll be
get ones for me.
You're gonna get
Yeah.
cosplay ones.
yeah, that's what I'll get.
Which I
They
feel
won't
like you
fit
should
him.
probably get for yourself anyway.
I should probably rock
totally.
those, maybe on a daily basis.
Yep.
Just be careful with which ones you get, because it could mess with your depth perception quite
Yes,
a bit.
that's
That's
true.
true.
Yeah,
true.
and make you evil.
Yep.
And then I'd be sitting like that.
Yeah, Mika Sailor Moon says Keith mad props for having the dolls.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that shows like a real commitment.
It's old school.
Yeah, you've just really embraced the whole Sailor Moon thing.
Somebody's gonna yell that I don't have the glasses later. Somebody's gonna be like,
probably
"I
are,
will give you
probably.
props, but no, I'm not."
Yeah, you're missing the accessories.
Yeah.
First commenter, that's what
Peter
they're gonna do.
Aguilar in the chat really wants us to start off by talking about Wet Shirt Mamoru.
Just go right to the end.
Let's
You
just
mean
say
right to the end.
light Yagami stance with
Oh
standing in the
my
right?
god, it was so hot.
oh my gosh. I'm
was
trying
so
to find
hot.
it. Amanda Miller tweeted out earlier, who we've had on the show here before and is the voice of Sailor Jupiter. She tweeted out this hilarious comparison of like Mamoru with the wet shirt in this and like a Backstreet Boys music video. So
Well, it must have been a legit comparison then.
Yeah, it's totally legit. Yep.
Yeah,
So-
or like every J-pop guy group ever. I was just like,
Yep.
oh my god.
Yep.
It's like, just be real. Be real for one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and there's a lot of love for good old stupid sexy Mamoru, as Will Tate says. The thing is, that ending was super cheesy, but like I think I liked it.
I liked it, but it was because I was laughing the whole way through because he's like doing these like weird Phantom of the Opera
Okay, but
poses
this is the
and like
thing.
shuffling
Dancing with
off
the
stage.
light.
But if you guys have ever watched any of the Sailor Moon musicals, like particularly the new ones, that are all female casts, and Yuga Yamato, the woman who plays Tuxedo Mask, is like unbearably sexy. You're like, I don't understand what's happening, but I'm very attracted to this lady who is playing a man. When she does moves like that, you're like, oh yeah, I'm into it. But like to see it animated was a little like, huh.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah.
I was so into it. I'm telling you. I mean,
Yes.
damn.
I was expecting to hear castanets or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know, usually I'm really good at, looking at the subtitles and everything. I had to like watch it like 3 times because the words weren't
Yep.
clicking.
You had to watch it
had
3
to.
times.
Well,
It
and
was-
and
it was
Eilish Henry in the chat. Thank you, Eilish, by the way, in your iTunes review for Love and Justice for telling me how to pronounce your name. Says it was very pretty Guardian Sailor Moon as well, which was the live action
That
Sailor Moon. So it
sounds
was
about
like
right.
they took all because. If you are an actual human being trying to portray Tuxedo Mask, one of the easiest things you can do is play with your
Twirl your cape.
Yeah, twirl your cape. So, yeah.
You kind of have to. I think.
Yeah.
I think if you're new to a cape, you twirl your cape.
I agree.
People who've worn capes for like 10 years,
Yeah.
like they chill with the
Right,
cape.
like
You know what I mean?
actual
They don't have anything to
Dracula's not
prove.
really messing with his cape that much anymore these days.
Yeah, Dracula doesn't do all those things.
But I bet when he first became a Dracula.
He's like,
all the time. So annoying.
The best
He
part of being a
annoyed
Dracula
everyone.
is the cape.
Yep.
Having a grand old time.
Yep.
Man, I
So
like
good.
the transition that they did from having, they had Chibiusa.
Yeah.
And now they have,
She's
Caitlin
dead
has
now.
his.
So
Oh,
Well,
snap! I didn't even
technically
think
she
about
is. Technically she is.
Really?
And how tragic was that episode before where it's like, then you get to see her music at the end.
yeah, that was pretty
but
rough.
But now you've got Tuxedo Masks, and it was just like, because he's keeping her body alive, and then it's like he gets
That
his
is a good
own
transition.
outro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna be okay. Oh, no. I'm like, she's still there. She's still got a pulse, right? It's
fine.
No.
I feel like that was.
He was like, "Go save her soul," but there was nothing could be.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I guess
Although
not.
once a body is declared, well, this is jumping into the episode. But
Yeah,
once
no, do
like
it.
somebody flatlines and they are clinically dead, like the doctor pronounces them dead, can you just take their corpse to your apartment?
Thank you.
I
was just like, how did
you-
I'm
so.
she was legally dead.
Yeah, it's like they don't let you keep bodies.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
there
not
might,
the
there
way
might
that
be
it
like a
works.
religious exemption for that or something. Like, we need the body for a few days
If you're-
to perform a
if
specific
you're
ceremony.
Like the moon religion, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Just take moon
They are
religion.
royalty.
They are royalty. But also, this is my other thing is, okay, how did they just, like, admit her to the hospital with no parent or like they clearly didn't call any parents or guardians? Like, did Usagi Mamoru show up and be like, listen, you gotta, I mean, this is gonna sound crazy, this is our kid from the future.
Right.
What story did they tell this doctor? And again, as soon as he pronounces her dead, he just pieces out. He's like, okay,
Yeah.
my work here is done. I'm just gonna leave you guys to your own devices here.
And it's like, what was wrong with her? I mean, we know what was wrong
Yeah.
with her. You know, hair hands snatching her soul out through her
That'll do it.
brooch.
Yeah.
But it's like they get there, she's unresponsive. There's no outside markings. Like,
Yes.
why
That's
didn't
the
that guy?
scene we needed. And you guys are absolutely right. We needed where the doctor was like, what happened? And we need to hear what they came up with.
Well, and why were like however many of them, because all of the Sailor Senshi were there. All
Yeah.
of the Guardians
Yeah.
were there in the room.
Yeah.
What story do you have to spend to allow
To get
all
that many people into a hospital room. Though, to
Yeah,
be fair,
it was
Thomas
weird.
Vaccaro in the chat says, Juban doesn't have a police force, so who is shocked? I've never seen a police force in Juban, to be fair. I actually was unaware they had hospitals until this episode. So.
Yeah, that and nobody carries around. They don't take pictures with their camera phones. Yeah, they're so numb.
And nobody had any questions for these guys.
No.
Bringing in, a little girl who's gone into a cardiac arrest. No one had any follow-up questions. Like, I don't know, what was she doing? Was she playing around
And
in
usually they're
cabins?
like
She wasn't.
family,
know
like
what?
family only. At least according to like Grey's Anatomy and stuff.
Right.
That's how I know what happens in
In a
hospitals.
hospital, like, I'm
exactly.
right.
Is
Very
they say like
accurate,
family
yeah.
only, and then
Yeah.
I guess they were like, we're on the same drill team, and
Yeah.
they're like, all right, go ahead. It's fine.
That sounds legit.
You know
Yeah,
what?
no,
I was
if you're
gonna
dressed
say,
like it, sure.
So Aisling in the chat brought up a very good point, actually. Maybe the doctor is a friend of Ami's mom, and that's why they don't ask questions. Ami's just like, whatever, guys, this is important. And they go, that's fine.
Their
It's fine,
doctor
Miss
is
Mizuno.
Ami's mom.
Well, we know she's a doctor.
A very important
The
doctor.
kind of doctors that their friends wouldn't ask
She spends
any
a lot of time
questions.
on business trips, which, as you know, is very usual for a doctor.
Yeah, a lot of house calls.
Yeah, in
guess.
in Europe. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's happening in
Okay,
Europe,
she's
that's
a
true.
spy. Okay, she's a spy.
Right.
Yeah, but still, but that was a good point to bring up. No, it was definitely a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
But
like
that doesn't take away from the dramatic. I mean, you're asking yourself all these
No,
questions.
oh my God,
That
exactly.
doesn't take away from the dramatic impact of the scene.
No,
no,
not at
no.
all. I mean, Chibiusa, they pronounced
That was-
Chibiusa dead.
it was like, what? You killed her. It's like, you killed her. She's dead. She was just, she wasn't as bad as she was in the 90s, and I really like her, and she's dead. Her friend killed her.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and that was the thing that I think was kind of a real sort of driving home point about this episode in terms, like, thematically, was that Usagi was seeing the consequences of, like, her inaction almost, because obviously, in the
Right.
last
Yeah.
episode, the Outer Guardians revealed, they're like, listen, Sailor Saturn's going to show up and it's going to go down. And so Usagi's like, no, we can't kill a little girl. And then they show up and the little girl kills her daughter. So
So now she has to decide between you
Yeah.
know, taking out Hutaru because she's got to get that soul, soul diamond. She's got to get her soul and the silver crystal back.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, whoa, rockin' hard place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that doesn't take away from her moral quandary either. She's still like, I really don't want to do that because she's
No.
still Sailor Saturn, who's one of the Guardians, and
Yeah.
she has a
Yeah.
connection to all of them.
But Sailor Moon hasn't killed a young girl before. And speaking
No,
as a
that's
villain,
true.
the first little girl that you kill is always the most
Right.
difficult.
Right.
You know?
And I mean, in your case, it was this exact little girl.
Well-
I mean, it was an accident, but
Yeah.
And you
But
only
the first
mo-
one's the hardest, and then it's like, we've been here. I can make the decision.
exactly. I mean, you only mostly killed her.
Yeah,
so
which isn't the same.
That's fine. You brought her back with a cyborg body in some cases.
It was all part of the plan.
Yeah,
All part of the
absolutely.
plan.
Yeah, totally.
But I'm honestly curious. I mean, if y'all had that decision, which side of it would you go on? I mean, you're choosing between Hotaru or, Chibiusa.
Yeah.
Well, I would have had more of a brainstorming session. Like, it was like, because there was a lot of like, is there anything else we can do? And there was like, no. But I would have started throwing ideas out.
They were going to whiteboard and be like, there are no
Yes.
bad ideas. Go ahead, just throw them out
Please
there.
give me something. Before I kill this girl, I just need to know we've gone through everything we can possibly do. I wouldn't accept just like, no.
Well, and the
Yeah.
thing is
Then we
that
have to.
The thing is that it's like I feel like in that scene in the last episode too, where it's like Mistress Nine awoke instead of Sailor Saturn, and the Outer Guardians were all just kind of like hanging out in a bush, like
In a tree.
ready to attack.
Yeah.
They're like, they kind of hesitated because they're like, well, let's wait and see if our talismans activate, and we actually legit have to kill this little girl. And it's like,
Right.
because they hesitated and didn't just do what they said they were going to do in the first place, Chibiusa wound up dead.
Yep.
So complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's that.
I mean, at least in the 90s anime, it's like they set up a force field so they couldn't physically get to Chibiusa while she was having her heart crystal ripped out.
exactly. And they that was brutal because they had to sit there and watch it happen.
Yeah, but like in this, it's like they could have done something.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's tough.
Yeah.
See, this
I don't know.
Heroes have to live through these types
know.
of decisions.
Yeah.
This is deep. This is next level hero
Yeah,
stuff.
it is. Shannon Sunshine a while back in the chat said that she cried when Diana cried. I remember her sad too.
Yeah, what's the little kitty?
Yeah,
Aw.
poor little Diana. So sad. Yeah, but moral dilemmas, man. It's
Well,
tragic.
and they don't come to a consensus either. The Outer Guardians are like, yeah, we're still gonna kill her, and the Inner Guardians are like, ooh, we'll figure figure something out.
Yeah.
We usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know what, but we'll figure something out.
Well, you have to also think with like the inner Senshi, they were more into the thick of it. You know, they saw Sailor Moon like, and
That's
outer
true,
Senshi,
yeah.
you know, they've just been on the periphery and they've been handling
That's
the
true.
really
No,
dangerous
that's very
stuff.
true. Yeah.
Of course, they're going to be black
They're
and
a
white
little
with
colder,
things,
yeah.
you know,
Right.
because it's like, hey, it's
Right.
this or it's that, so we choose this. You know,
Yep.
You're right. The Outer Guardians are more like Walking Dead, and the
Yeah.
other ones are fear of
The
The
Walking
Walking
Dead.
Dead.
Yes,
So they're not
yeah.
quite. They're like, we could, but maybe they're going to
like,
be
maybe it's
friendly.
gonna be okay.
No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Yeah,
no.
no,
Walking
they're
Dead
not.
folks are like, no, 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 no,
Different
trust
stages of
us.
the zombie
Exactly.
apocalypse.
Exactly.
100%. You know who's
Trust us.
absolutely. You know who's absolutely 100% committed in their feelings towards another individual, very black and white about how they feel about them, is Professor Tomoe and Mistress Nine.
That's usually the beauty of being a villain
I
too,
know,
right
yeah.
there.
but it wasn't in like a creepy sexual way. It was literally just to like, oh my god, I'm your biggest fan. I thought you were never gonna show up, and here you are. It was so good.
he's like, I never thought this would happen,
I
and
know.
it's like his face. He was so. It was like
It was
Christmas
his little
morning.
girl moment.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing all this evil. I didn't know.
He turned into a teenage fangirl.
Yeah, totally.
It was so
Man.
good.
Can I get you some tea? Do you want some tea? Or something?
And Mistress
for coming.
Nine just cracked that whip right away.
I
I
know.
was like, woo.
She's like, Kalanite,
yeah,
you're done.
Thanks for
Yeah.
taking care of
Yeah.
everything. Step aside.
Yeah.
The moment that had my jaw on the floor was he was saying like, you know, I implanted this in Hotaru years ago, and I never thought I'd see this day.
Yeah.
And Hotaru's still hanging around back there.
I
And she's
know.
like,
Right, yeah.
so that's how it happened.
Yeah.
And my jaw just hit the floor. It's like, she's still there.
Yeah.
She's still aware.
Megan, you
of-
still think you're gonna get your happy ending where everybody goes?
That's
and-
Markeia.
Happy ending where everybody goes and gets ice cream.
Man,
I thought it was possible still. Darn it.
I'm just sad that it turns out that Tomoe wasn't just, you know, single dad trying to make it work.
Yeah.
He was always bad. He was always
Well,
bad.
it wasn't that he was bad. Like, I do believe that he legitimately does love his daughter. He's
But just in a weird way.
yeah, and I mean, and the thing is that it's like he's now looking at Mistress Nine, and it's like this is the greatest achievement of his life's work. Because I mean, they're very transparent in Crystal about the fact that even before he was messing around with Pharaoh 90 and had diamond seeds in his body and was trying to find hosts for them to take over the world with the power of the Tyron crystal, that he was already into like illegal genetic research. So
It was just a
Slippery
short
slope.
hop.
yeah, it was. Yeah,
From
he was already kind of a
Yeah.
mad scientist, and then he just went full crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and the thing is that it's like he is putting his greatest life's work into keeping his daughter alive. I mean, it's so Mistress Nine can take over.
It's not for
Yeah.
a really good reason.
Yeah.
Not a
Good
good fatherly
reason.
reason.
No,
at
but
least.
like I feel like from his weird perspective, he's giving Hotaru like the greatest gift of all by implanting her with the like diamond seed of Pharaoh 90's like right
I
hand
don't think
lady.
that's what Whitney Houston was singing about.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so
With the
either.
children
The
of-
greatest
future.
love of all. I think that was about something else.
It's a little bit different than Howard Stark telling Tony in a recording, like, you know, you are my greatest creation. It's a little different.
It's a little different.
Same thing, but like,
But
from
you
a
know
very
what? I feel
twisted
like
perspective.
Professor Tomoe is thinking the exact same way as Howard Stark.
He thinks
Just-
that's a big like
Yeah,
plus.
just Howard Stark's a lot less insane. I mean, he's insane in his own way, but like I don't think it's
insane in
clinical.
a lovable way.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, that scoundrel.
Yeah,
That scamp.
Yep. Yeah, so basically, Mistress Nine shows up and is like, okay, Kalanite, you're done. I get to talk to Pharaoh 90 now. You go do something else, and I won't tolerate failure.
Yeah, you know what you need to do? You need to take care of the Senshi, so you just go do that.
Yeah, yep.
You do that. That's,
And
that's your
Kalanite,
thing.
I loved when Kalanite walks away, and she's basically like, I will not lose to that woman.
Well, she didn't think she would.
Yeah, well, that's true.
But she wouldn't even say it out of her mouth. She just thought it.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
No.
the wall's heavier.
Oh yeah. No, she knew better than that.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least, yeah.
So she retreated to the principal's office, because apparently maybe she's the principal of the Mugen Academy.
I get. They didn't really. Did they address that?
No, they
Not
just,
in this
there was
episode,
just
they
a
didn't.
very
Yeah.
clear
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah,
that
where
said
she's
principal's office.
It's on the 60th floor. I know that.
Yep, yep.
It's on the 60th floor.
Yeah.
And
Amy discovers that later.
yeah.
Not Amy. I'm sorry. It was Sailor Neptune, where she.
Oh yeah, it was in the mirror. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
better
her
than Ami's
talisman.
little. It's like her version of Ami's supercomputer, except it's a magical
Oh
artifact.
my god! If the two
It just
of them
seems like a
ever got
long walk when you get sent to the principal's office.
Yeah.
I assume you'd be on the first
You
floor
really
to
have
start.
to do like a walk of shame.
Yeah,
So
it
like if
really
you're
is.
about to go into the principal's office and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to defend myself by the time you walk up 60 flights of stairs. I don't care. What do I need to do?
Your punishment is walk back down to class.
And
Yeah, could you imagine the elevator being out of service
Oh my
at the
God.
Woodgate Academy?
Would not be a good time.
No.
Not be a good time. So Callie Knight basically revives all of the Witches 5.
powerful. That is a powerful woman. Then.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
not know she could do that.
Yeah,
That's
no-
unsettling.
And is like,
Ooh.
what up? The Mugen Academy is now a witch labyrinth.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no,
She separated all of them. I mean, that was
Yeah.
cool for me. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. That's like you can only do it so many times in a series, but I love whenever you have a team and you split them all up
I
and
agree.
play at their weaknesses. That always gets me.
Yeah.
I'm always like, yes.
I love that too. I love that too.
Yeah, you almost have to wonder, like, it stopped at a certain point for each one of them, like if they continued on and embraced it,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
if when we see them trapped in the wax when they're going after them, if that was what was playing simultaneously. Do you see what I mean? Did I describe that weird?
I don't know. I got lost. But I'm sure that's just me. They were caught in they were in the wax. You mean
Yeah.
were they caught in the wax while they were imagining all that was happening?
Well, yeah, they
Yeah.
were, but I'm saying, was it kind of like a time play thing where it's like when we saw each of them doing their,
Right.
about to make that choice,
Right.
if that was happening all at the same time
I
when
see.
they were in the wax.
Yeah.
I think so.
I see. That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
yeah.
I thought it was all happening at the
Simultaneously.
same time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was a brilliant tactic because all of the Witches 5, they're like, yeah, no, we've played this game before, like actually going up against
Yeah.
them head to head, and we've lost.
Yeah.
So I really liked that it was a different tactic of like, we don't need to fight right now. Let's come look at these flowers.
Well, I
and
mean,
just
you
hang
guys,
out. It's cool.
let's get real. She like straight up tried to make out with Ray.
That.
I noticed that. I didn't know if that was just me reading into it. I thought that was just me.
Her,
guess
Karu,
they
and
did.
A number of other people in the chat have been like, "Are we gonna talk about Yurio's little lesbian moment there?"
Okay, all right. I'm glad that wasn't just me.
No, it
I'm
wasn't
really
you.
glad that
She
wasn't.
was kind of rough.
Yeah.
I don't think that was necessary.
Yeah, yeah.
It was working.
It was an interesting direction for them to take.
No, definitely. Yeah. I could have watched a whole episode that was just this labyrinth, by the way. Like, I could have
Yes.
spent
Yeah.
so much more time with each of
Yes.
them,
No.
like, playing into the girls' individual fears.
When they got separated, I thought it was going to turn into a two-parter. Like, I thought the entire rest of this episode was going to be devoted to that and, like,
I know.
each of the girls' insecurities.
Yeah, I was
loved
actually
that.
surprised it resolved
as quickly
within
as it
the
did.
episode. It
You know,
resolved pretty quickly when it did.
Well, what was interesting was, because I was thinking about the episode itself, and, like, the pacing on the first half of the episode was very, like, I think about the first half and then the second half, and I'm like, no, not much happened in the first half of the episode, and in the second half of the episode, so much happened.
Right, yeah, true.
Well, there was all that emotional stuff that
Yeah,
happened though.
oh,
With
God.
like
With Mamoru and Usagi.
and he like connected his body with
Chibiusa,
with Chibiusa,
yeah.
and then he's like, hey, you guys gotta give us a moment.
Yeah.
It's like the three of them. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Man.
No, it was. I thought it was so cute when he told the rest of them to go away.
He did say it nicely, though.
Yeah.
He did. No, he
Yeah.
said it really nicely. Yeah. Otherwise, I'd be like, well, bro, you gotta back off. Like, there's like lady power team happening here. But I got
But
it.
he's doing it because he's being the stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the dad that's gonna be there, making sure Chibiusa is still like on life support, basically.
yeah.
While mom goes and saves the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. Yeah.
And I
Girl
liked
power.
I liked with Sailor Moon's one when she was like trapped in the labyrinth
Right.
and everything, that it seemed like she wasn't believing it when it was the Guardians, but as soon as Mama-chan was there and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna take out you and you, Usa, she's like, no. It's like that was her breaking point to the
Yeah.
point where he even felt it.
Yeah, and he was back
right, yeah.
there, and they're just like psychically connected. And basically, the great thing is now the Tuxedo Mask has this great psychic link with Sailor Moon. He doesn't even have to show up to tell her to believe in herself.
That's cool.
He can just telepathically
That was very
communicate it.
convenient.
It
Yeah.
was very convenient. Very convenient.
Believe in yourself, sweetie.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking it.
Mika
Just thinking
Sailor
it.
Moon said in regards to Mamoru, babe, you go get our daughter and her soul back. That's basically what it was. So good. Yeah, and Thomas Vaccaro says, I like that Mama was still playing a crucial role while his bae goes to kick Tom Cruise's butt. We've had a lot of conversations about how the Infinity Academy, the Mugen Academy, is very Scientology.
Oh, okay.
With the
Sure.
different, the witches always are announcing their levels and...
Oh, that would do it. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, now there's
everyone
a
there,
revival element.
everyone there seems to be like exceptionally talented in some
And
area
wealthy.
of
They
study.
take helicopters to school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And apparently
well,
they have patrons.
it's
Oh
probably,
my God, patrons!
it's probably
Patrons.
based on. Oh, that's right. I remember the patrons line in the last episode.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that meant at
Patrons.
all. She has patrons. And
Yeah.
Did it? I'm like, I don't know what it meant. We'll talk about that, but
Jobs.
I'm gonna think it's sponsors. I'm just
Sure.
gonna say
sponsors sounds
Sponsors
better.
sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the violinist could have patrons.
True.
You know,
And a
patrons
race
of the
car
arts.
driver.
Yeah,
I assume you win money in race car competitions.
It just seemed like one of these things.
Like,
Yeah.
But
patrons.
nobody says that. We have
Wink.
patrons. Yeah, I have clients, people might say. A doctor might say.
Sure.
A psychologist, I've got clients. But patron sounds like, oh,
Yep.
who's that?
Yep.
Yeah. I did going back to the wax thing.
Yeah.
I loved how it was like a little bit terrifying when it's like there's the Witches 5 and there's only Sailor Moon.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, she's not even Super Sailor Moon right now.
No.
How is she
Nope,
against
she's-
all 5?
She's just gonna have to fight all the witches
And
5 at
it
once.
was cool seeing her like combative in that sort of way. Because,
Sure.
Because all of them together had like there are some of those characters there that all of them together weren't able to defeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was really cool to see her try to hold her own for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that moment, her and Haruka, just like I knew
Oh,
you'd
it was
come.
so
knew
great. Well, I mean, it's one of those things that I've brought up, I know on Love and Justice, and I think a little bit on this show as well, that, like, you see sort of gradually throughout the show the effect that being around the Inner Guardians, being around, like, the main team who have always been there for each other, have always been supporting each other and lived these happy, kind of lovely lives, you start seeing that effect, like, translate onto the Outer Guardians to the point that, like, I think in the previous episode, if Haruka and Michiru had not become friends with Usagi and spent time with them, like, they would have just showed up and murdered Hotaru. They wouldn't have waited for their talismans to activate to be sure that she was Sailor Saturn.
No,
Right.
But
they would have taken care of business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody when each of the Sailor Guardians was like having their own little vision quest in this episode, was anybody wondering if we were going to get that from the Outer Guardians as well, even though they were coming from I know that doesn't necessarily correspond with the Witches 5
I don't know.
dynamic lining up with the Sailor Guardians.
I wasn't expecting it because it didn't happen in the manga, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but
I think it wouldn't work on them. I think they're just too dead set. They
They're
have their,
too focused on
they
their
have
goal.
their goal.
yeah.
It didn't last long enough for me to start thinking ahead because I was kind of
Yeah.
just sucked into the action of
Yeah.
that because I really enjoyed how they separated each one of
I
them.
do too, and as
played
I
their
say,
weaknesses.
like I would have just loved for them to spend so much
Exactly.
more time on each individual story. Maybe
Yeah.
like brought in some stuff from past seasons. I mean, it's
There's
they,
a
could, they
lot they
definitely
could
could have
have
spent
done.
more time with that.
Yeah.
But there's still
No.
going to be like what 4 more parts to this
Yeah.
finale.
Right.
So
Well, it kept us
even
wanting
brought
more,
in-
and that's a good thing in a series anyway. We can always say the parts we love, we wish they went on, but it's better than being like it went on and on.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the worst
Yeah.
thing.
Better,
Yeah.
yeah. Again, better to leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
could have brought in like the Shitano.
That was okay. I just wanted somebody else to say it and not me. So, but like, how amazing would it have been if when Jupiter was in the Rose Garden, she started having visions of like the upperclassmen who she was in love with, who she left, and then it morphed into Nephrite. I mean, I'm just saying, it would have been amazing. I'm going down a deep dark path right now. It's fine. Yeah. But anyway, so they all end up in the wax, and then Sailor Moon's on her own, and then yes, the Outer Guardians show up and save her, and it's amazing, and we get new attack. Oh, Sailor Pluto's attack!
We finally get to see Sailor Neptune's attack for the
I
first
didn't know
Yeah,
they were
Deep
new.
Submerged.
I liked them, but I didn't know they were new. So
Yeah,
this
no,
is why I come here
this
to
was
get
new.
that.
Yeah. Oh no, we'd only seen Deep Submerge up to this point, but she used Submarine Reflection, which is they both use their talisman attacks basically.
Yeah.
Like Uranus has been rocking hers for a little while, and what was cool was in this episode she used it, and it wasn't stock footage.
Yeah, it was
real
different
time.
animation.
Yeah, it was neat. But then, we did get to see Submarine Reflection and Kronos Typhoon, which were amazing.
I love Sailor Pluto's attacks like so much. It's because she's so powerful that everybody else is like, snake fire or whatever.
Hey, I like
I'm
the snake
excited.
fire.
No, but they say
I'm
like
such a
they're
guy.
shouting.
Yeah, I like
Snake fire, that's awesome. I totally comprehend that
It's like
attack.
crossfire.
It was so simple. It's a fire that looks like a snake.
Yeah.
It was,
It's
No,
everything I want.
No,
Yeah.
I just mean like they like shout it out to the heavens like this is an attack while Sailor
Right.
Pluto is like I'm so powerful.
Yeah.
Kronos Typhoon.
Yeah, she,
You know,
Right,
it's a
right,
She's
right.
like
whisper.
she even has to face away.
Right, I can't even,
Because she
right.
knows that
That's
destruction.
awesome. Almost like she regrets doing it. Like it's so, I'm sorry to even have to do this to you right now.
Yeah. Like when the
Dead
sun
scream.
goes
And
down.
then,
know.
again, with an attack like Dead Scream, it's like,
Ooh.
she's not messing around.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Do you think that if Sailor Pluto said her attacks more loudly, they would be more devastating? So she has to like say
Gotta dial it back a few notches.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But like no matter what volume, like that's your butt.
Yeah.
Yep. It was so good.
like that.
Yep. It was so nice to see the new attacks. Also in the chat, people have been asking us to talk about the new opening, which is not. I mean, it was
not a whole
Marco
lot to
Sanchez
talk
said,
about
"Are we
it.
going to talk about the new opening?" There's not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, because it's the same song.
Beautiful to listen to, though.
Yeah.
And like the changes that they made to the animation incorporating the new attacks. And
Yeah,
everything like
yeah,
that. It was cool.
Yeah.
And it was really great to hear a chorus of ladies.
Yeah, well, I mean,
singing.
it's Momoclo, I'm pretty sure, anyway, who, sang Moon Pride. It's them singing their version of this song. What I would say is that about the new opening is every time we get a new singer, the music itself, like the instrumentals, have gotten more synthetic. And I like the original, like, orchestral arrangement. So, like, I would love to hear that arrangement. Like, and if you listen to the full version, there's this sweet bridge with electric guitars, and it's amazing. I would like to hear that version with the Momoclo vocals,
Yeah. I agree.
Is it moving into new wave? I mean, is it?
I guess, yeah.
Are we gonna get like a Duran Duran version or like Depeche Mode
Listen,
eventually?
if there was a Duran Duran version of this song, it would be my favorite forever.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, eventually there will be auto tuning.
Right.
Oh my God,
T-Pain's.
man.
Good old T-Pain version of it.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like the graphics that they used for it because it's like, oh yeah, let's get all this foreshadowing in.
Yeah,
let's see
totally.
it. Hit me with all of it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and I liked them switching the soloists throughout
Yes.
it. Like it was really nice. But yeah, I would still like it with the original like instrumentation.
Yeah, I feel like the perfect version would be the original instrumentation with this group of singers. Like,
Yeah.
that would be perfect.
Yeah,
And Duran Duran, yeah. I agree.
And Duran
And
Duran.
Duran.
Yes.
Of
Well,
course,
actually,
the Duran Duran
just the
cover.
Duran Duran
There's no
version.
contest.
Of course not.
Oh my God. I just really, guys, if somebody could like cut together a Sailor Moon opening to a Duran Duran song of your
Please.
choosing,
Yeah.
please tweet it at us.
You mean they wouldn't want to sing a song about, like, being in love and being a teenage girl?
It would be better if you know Duran Duran and you could get them to record a version of this song. A+.
This is Sailor Moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Ba, ba, ba,
Yeah.
ba, ba, ba. I'm saying.
Perfect.
There you
And I feel like Planet Earth would be a good one for them to do a Sailor Moon
Yeah,
opening
I
too.
think that would work, yeah.
Into it.
Get
So
on it, internet.
into it. Yep. People still miss the lesbian power anthem as the closing, even with Mamoru's sexy new song.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
you know,
To, like, his little cape dance.
Yeah.
and dancing with the light.
It was good.
Yeah, I like that they're progressing though. Like with it, I mean, we're so used to just having the same. intro
Yeah,
and
no,
outro,
Yeah,
it's,
so
that's
it's
true.
keeping us on our toes. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. And then, so basically getting back to the episode itself, they show up, they rescue Sailor Moon and company. She turns into Super Sailor Moon and saves everybody.
And that's about how quickly that happened. That was my only thing is I loved that build up. Like
I
we
know.
were talking about, it could have gone a few episodes.
Yeah.
And then it was like, we're here. It's fixed. Let's go. I was like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Be like 60th floor. Let's go.
Like I knew that was going to happen, but it was kind of quick. And I was
It
like, there
was,
was like
no.
5
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
how many
totally.
of
They
the
did
different
that
witches were there? Was it 5?
There were
There were
five.
five.
There were
Yeah.
5. Okay, so
Yeah.
there were 5 of them, and it's
Well,
like
Pluto took them out.
Well, and it
she did.
took him
It
out.
didn't
wanted it to
necessarily
be.
not to jump ahead to predictions, but it didn't necessarily look like from the preview that it was entirely the end of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
ominous.
Yeah, listen, death is very like
negotiable.
tentative. Yeah, it's negotiable
Yeah.
in the Sailor Moon universe.
Except
I mean,
for-
the hospital pronounced Chibiusa dead, and they're like, she might still be a little bit alive.
We're gonna get a
Let's
second
just leave
opinion.
her there for a little while. We'll see what happens.
Death is negotiable unless you had an ice cream shop in the 90s anime. And
Aw.
nope.
Nope.
It's not gonna happen.
They don't deserve an ice cream
But yeah,
shop.
so they fight
They
off
don't need redemption.
Kalinite in her beast form. I mean,
Holy cow.
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, her diamond form was cray cray.
That was cray cray. I'm sure she thought that. She's like, I'm gonna do something cray cray. This is gonna be cray cray.
They threw
She's like,
everything
they're
at
gonna
her.
come through that door and lose their minds.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yep. Yep.
Like everything, snake fire, just everything.
really
It just
thought
was not.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my favorite
They
part.
threw all the attacks, and then finally, you know,
Yeah. She even had a sword chucked at her at
she
one
did
point.
have
yeah.
a sword thrown at her. I believe she had multiple swords thrown at her, actually.
Someone
Yeah.
threw a
Uranus
stapler.
and Venus.
Someone threw a stapler.
They
Is
started
that right?
throwing the office supplies that was in the
They were
principal's
in the
office.
principal's
In the principal's
so,
office,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Of course.
totally. Someone threw like a 3-hole punch.
Right.
Don't
yeah.
waste those.
Parking validation.
It's hard to hurt someone with parking validation
is.
stubs.
We're gonna need those on Monday when we reopen.
Yep. Yep.
Which, not to mention, the entire building is like covered head to toe
In
with
vines.
vines with
Right.
very beautiful like purple roses.
Yeah.
But like no one in Juban is at all concerned. Yeah, again,
Yeah,
no
don't-
police.
don't worry about
force.
Juban.
No one's investigating it. No
Maybe-
one's like, well, that's a
Well,
thing
it's-
that's
Maybe
happening.
they know
Juban is
they can't
Juban.
deal with that. Like
Yeah.
they've learned their lesson, and they just
Yeah.
are like, it's we don't know what this is from
The
another world.
superheroes will take care of it.
There's a
It's fine.
bank robbery. We'll get that.
Yeah,
we
it's
don't.
true.
We all know Juban. It's a silly place.
It is.
It's a silly place.
It's
Yeah.
it's certainly unusual. And then we get something that they like really took to an extreme in the 90s anime with the consumption of heart crystals. Because Mistress Nine straight up swallows the silver crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and licks her lips. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
dude.
Like, that was
We
creepy.
needed that. That was important.
Yep.
Don't do that.
Yep. Yep. Well, now they're gonna have to kill her or at least
something.
perform some sort of surgery.
Something.
I don't know. People can pull crystals out of their hearts all the time in this show. I feel like there's a workaround.
Yeah. Then there's
Oh
dream mirrors and
Yeah, there are probably a number of options.
Yes.
I would think in
Yeah.
this world.
So the chat's on a little bit of a delay, and I just have to say, Stoic the D says Mako just starts throwing her ex-boyfriend.
That would have been awesome.
Yep. That would have, yep, amazing. Yeah, but I mean, that's basically where we're at, is like they defeat Beast Kalinite, and the silver crystal has been eaten.
yeah. And
Right.
that was interesting because wasn't she offering it to Master Pharaoh 90?
Yeah,
and
well,
then
'cause
she's
I-
like, you know what?
Never mind.
I'm just
I got
hungry.
it.
Power this up. I'm gonna power up here.
Yeah.
Well, she was a woman scorned by that point.
Yeah.
You know, so she was like, I'm not bringing this back to her.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be dirty when she gets it back.
Yes. Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, it could be that it's kind of like with the eggs that create the diamond, where she's just consuming it to like
Power up
yeah,
more.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's a great place to roll into predictions.
Ah.
Zach? Okay.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ooh, that is spooky.
Yeah.
It's really spoopy.
Super spoopy.
So, go for
So,
it.
yeah, it looked like from the preview that the Witches 5 are like in this test tube sort of thing. So I don't think they've actually been there at all. I feel like the physical manifestations of them were like, I don't know, maybe clones or something. I don't know what to make of that. But it looks like they're gonna have to deal with that this time around. I don't know. I just like that all of the Guardians are on the same page now. They don't quite know what they're
Yeah,
gonna do.
teamwork, man.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm think, and I'm looking forward to it if they do it with Mistress Nine and Hotaru. That there's just going to be that whole the bluest eye back and forth thing with them, where it's just going to maybe get to a point like in the battle where Hotaru or Sailor Saturn is going to actually be able to grab hold of Mistress Nine, like maybe even have her like grabbing onto her like this. to hold her so that Sailor Moon could kill her. But then Sailor Moon will decide not to do it a different way. In my head, I see that happening, and I think that will happen.
Yeah. I mean, as we know, Hotaru is clearly very, like, cognizant inside of Mr. Stein. And Thomas Vaccaro says, prediction, everyone dies. Well,
that may happen.
Not to be a little bit of a downer, but my prediction is that next episode is Tomoe's last episode. That's my guess.
What?
That's my.
I know.
Kaola
Poor
Knight died in this
Tomoe.
one.
I know, he's the
feel
next
like-
step.
I feel like he's not far behind.
No.
I know. I'm sorry. I feel terrible
All
for
the
even
chips,
bringing that
he's
up.
gonna win. Absolutely. I predicted that last time. I still predict it. I also choose to hold on to the belief that Chibiusa is gonna be fine. And that probably Mistress 1 through 8 may show up.
Oh, nice.
Then Tomoe will definitely stick around.
Well, when all your mistresses show up at the same time, you get the hell out. You do not hang around for that party.
You know, now that I think about it, Mistress, those are, it's not the best title for her, is it?
Yep. Yeah, no,
There's
it's not.
There's some backstory that
Yeah,
we
it's
still
true.
need to
I
find
know.
out.
It's like, why is she Mistress 9? What happened to 1 through 8?
Well, even Pharaoh 90. It's like, why 90
Why 90?
specifically?
There were another 89 pharaohs.
Yeah, exactly.
Are these like usernames where like how like people say like their
Usernames.
username
I like
and then they
that.
add like 90 because they were born in 1990? Is that
Right.
it? Is like Pharaoh 90 just that's his username and he was just born in 1990?
Yup.
See, I always just assume when it's a username like that they just went through everyone. Like they went Pharaoh 1, taken. Pharaoh 2, and they were there for like 5 hours and went 90, got it. You know. But I like that better that they went 1990. So yeah. It takes a lot less time to do that.
It does. It does.
I'll incorporate it into my password. No one will know.
Never.
Things from the Twitter hashtag. Let's see. Thomas Vaccaro said in the hashtag, the new Sailor Moon Crystal episode, I can't even.
I can't even either.
JRNDJF. This is going to be a good 5-part finale. I can't speak in acronyms. I'm sorry. Please explain to me what that means. And then Farrah Patridge, who was very sad that she could not join us in the live chat tonight because it was very late for her, was, I don't know about this latest episode. There was a lot of good mixed in with a bit of terrible. I can only assume she means terrible, like sad things happening in the plot.
I assume that's what
This was a good
Good
episode.
I want to give a shout out to Jade in the hashtag as well because she likes my Ruby shirt.
Oh, nice.
And I want to give a shout out to Sir Pop-A-Lot and Kid Twinkie. These are all breaking names. Cracker Jack, Dr. Popper, just some shout outs.
Shouting it all out. We do have a new iTunes review as well. All the feels, 5 stars. This is from Lauren Javi. I love this show. I've tried to get into other SMC reaction and discussion channels, but none of them ever quite clicked for me. Your show has a great balance between hardcore fans and filthy casuals.
I did shower. I'm not quite sure.
As someone who sought out every incarnation of Sailor Moon, I still have those bootleg VHS of the musicals in my parents' garage.
that's great.
I love you.
Nice.
Your weekly show helps me gird my loins for the inevitable questions and confusion I will encounter while watching Crystal with my boyfriend, who has only seen snippets of the 90s anime. I really enjoy the mix of perspectives and the special guests you bring in, especially the insights from Deb Crane. Oh, she was great.
She's pretty awesome, yeah.
Part of my job involves translation and localization, so hearing how other people work is always fascinating. Keep up the great work.
You know, it's Deb's
cool.
birthday
It
today.
is Deb's birthday
Oh, yeah.
today.
all
Deb, happy
Hey,
birthday.
Deb.
Yay! And with that being said, I have a little bit of news and gossip to share.
Ooh, fancy.
Drum roll.
Yep, there it is.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So I believe it was like May 19th. So it was like a couple of weeks ago. They announced the new cast members for the next Sailor Moon. Because basically all the girls that were playing the Inner Guardians, Sailor Moon are the Sailor Moon musicals. All the girls who
thank
were
you.
playing the Inner Guardians, basically you only get to do a few shows and then you graduate. So they all graduated. So they have all been replaced. So they had a cast announcement with all of them. But then the official Sailor Moon Crystal page actually posted a YouTube video with all of them doing little introductions. And they seem pretty lovely, though I'm still mourning the loss of Satomi, who's my favorite person to ever play Sailor Moon. She's, if you guys have not seen the new Muse, you should watch them. She's like the most beautiful mix of just like awkward and sincere, and she's such a she's great. I sure hope that this new Hotaru Nomoto, who's playing Tsukino, Tsukino Usagi, can live up to that.
Yeah, I mean, big shoes to fill.
Yeah, huge shoes to fill. Another little piece of news and gossip was it was MomoCon this past weekend in Atlanta. The clip has since been removed from YouTube as it was not officially posted by Viz. But at the Sailor Moon panel during MomoCon, they did show a clip of Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune in the English language version of Sailor Moon S, featuring the wonderful Erica Mendez and Lauren Landa in those as Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune respectively, and it was amazing. If
And
you
it's
didn't
already
get,
removed, so
it's
we can't see it.
You can't see it.
It's gone.
I'm sorry, guys. You're just gonna have to wait until Viz posts
Right.
something official.
All the news you want an hour late.
I tweeted it.
Right here.
I tweeted it out when it happened.
Right.
So if you guys follow me on Twitter, I know a lot of you had a chance to see it, and there were a lot of really positive reactions to it. And I'm just really looking forward to the dub of Sailor Moon S.
Who leaked that out? I'm like,
I know, right?
I want to know how that
I know
happened.
someone filmed it at the panel and posted it on YouTube.
Oh, is that they showed it at the panel?
they showed it
then?
at the panel.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got you.
Supposed to work
So
on
they
the honor
sorta-
system, guys.
Yeah.
You know when you do a panel, like somebody's going to film it somewhere.
Exactly. So
yeah.
that's what happened. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm certainly looking forward to hearing your performance.
Me too.
Yeah.
As Professor Tomoe.
It feels like so long ago now.
Yeah.
It really does, because we're in
Yeah.
between. We haven't started doing Crystal at all.
Yeah.
So, or at least as
Right.
the
I mean,
professor,
yeah, absolutely. I assume probably once this season's over, they'll start working on localizing it for you guys to do. So.
And so that's going to be trippy for me,
Yeah.
just to go back in and see what differences there are. And
To
he'll
that
be
character.
basically the same character, but it's a little different feel.
It
You
is.
guys
Yeah,
know
it's
that,
totally a
obviously.
different feel.
So I mean, to factor that in, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to revisit him and
Yeah.
then change him up a little bit.
Yeah, I love that you play Usagi's dad and Professor Tomoe. So you play like the best dad in the world, and then like the worst dad probably.
But which one's which? It depends how you're looking at it.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, no,
guess
I
you're
love that too. I think that's really cool. I'm very happy that they chose me to do that, because
Yeah.
it's just kind of it's a fun thing.
Yeah.
I'm the dads.
You're just the dads.
Evil dad, good dad.
Evil dad, good
in
dad.
almost
Do you
every
play a
show.
lot? Have you played a lot of dads in your career?
I play a lot of dads,
Yeah.
and I play a lot of evil dads too. So I don't know how that works. I'm lots of villains, so
Yeah.
but it's one of the typecasts that I seem to
Yeah.
get for whatever reason, and I'm not complaining.
No.
I'm happy.
Listen, there's plenty
happy to
of
do it.
dads out there in anime that
There
need
seem
voices.
to be,
Yep. In the
and
video
lots of, there's
games.
always a villain.
Always a villain.
So
Yeah.
not all of the villains I play are dads.
But when the two overlap, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring one up, but I was like, ooh, no spoilers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking that too. I was going to say infected, and I was like, stop.
Yep. Keith, what
Yes.
other things are you working on, or things that happened recently that you can tell us about? Because I know you sign a lot of NDAs when you do voiceover
well,
work.
there's all kinds of stuff. There's way more stuff I can't talk about, of
Right.
course. I think I brought up that Overwatch is out.
Yeah.
I played Torbjorn in that one. So check that out. I think the game's doing really,
It
really
is.
well.
No, it's doing really, really well. Really well.
There's a series on Netflix has been out for a short time now called Ajin. It's Age.
Oh, yeah, I saw
AJIN.
that. That keeps coming
I played
up in my
Tanaka in
recommended.
that. Yeah, so check that out.
Is that character a dad or a villain?
No.
Oh.
No, actually. Well, he might be a dad. If so, we haven't covered that. So I don't know. I don't think he's a dad whatsoever in that. Also, there's a series that's on Nickelodeon and Nicktoons, respectively, called Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir.
And
Yeah.
for those of you who like magical girl stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Christina V is in that, and she's the voice
Yep.
of Sailor Mars.
so
in
is
the Viz
Stephanie
dub.
Shea, I believe.
Yeah, I think Stephanie's done some voices.
And
in it.
Yeah,
Bryce
we're working all
Havenbrick
kinds
as
of
well.
stuff. Yep,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
And it's a
Bryce
great
is in
show.
it.
It's,
Yeah.
I play the villain, of course, in that.
Oh, good.
And then on Netflix also, there's Glitter Force. If you guys haven't had a
Oh,
chance to check out Glitter
yeah.
Force, I play a number of fun villains in that. And that's
Which is an American translation of one of the Precure series,
Yes.
who the current director of Sailor Moon worked on. So
See? So you guys should watch that,
it all,
too.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometime soon we got 20 more episodes that should be released on Netflix of that. So I'm waiting.
Awesome. Well, Keith, thanks for coming back and hanging out with us again. This was totally awesome. It was.
I've been
Yeah.
sleeping here all week. I actually never left.
Perfect.
So.
the only guest that's camped out. For
I mean,
this.
they do. They,
Oh,
we
no
have,
one else has done that?
no, yeah.
Wow.
We have
Yeah.
popcorn and sodas. Like, I mean, what else do you really need?
No, that's what I figured. So until somebody kicks me out, I'll see you guys next week.
Awesome.
Popcorn soda, coffee machine. It's great.
Oh, I know where the coffee machine
Oh, no, in
is.
the event, Keith, that you do decide to go home, remind people where can they keep up with you on the internet and all the things you're doing.
Yes, definitely on Twitter at SilverTalkie, SilverTalkie. On Facebook, Keith Silverstein, voice artist. So check me out there. I usually update on both of those. I'm on Instagram, but I'm just Keith Silverstein. There's nothing fancy. Not Keith Silverstein, Pharaoh 90. Just Keith
And he's going to go home
Silverstein.
and change his Instagram.
I'm going to. I'm immediately into Keith Silverstein
You gotta
90.
add those numbers.
Can you do that? Can you change your name once it's established? Probably not.
So I think you
Can you?
can.
Yeah.
As long as it's not taken by somebody else.
Yeah.
I think you're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Chris
Right.
Sabat just changed his to voice of Vegeta from like
Okay.
Chris Sabat _24, so I'm pretty sure you can change your handles. Megan, where can people keep up with you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I'm also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I write articles for the Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out.
Markeia McCarty.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markeia McCarty, MarkeiaMcCarty. I'm also on Snapchat, Darth Fenmans.
She's good at Snapchat, you guys.
Such a cool name.
Thank you. And if you love live comedy, I'm in with Big Yellow Taxi at Pack Theater in Hollywood. That'll be tomorrow night, Tuesday, at 8 p.m. Free show.
Awesome. And I'm Emma Fyffe. I can be found all over the internet wherever Emma Fyffes are sold at my name, Emma Fyffe, EMMAFYFFE. You can also find me on my other Sailor Moon podcast, Love and Justice, a serious Sailor Moon podcast. You can find that on in the iTunes store and on Twitter and all those good places. And you can also find all of us at A-Kon in Dallas this weekend at the Hilton Anatole in Dallas Market Center. We will be doing a panel on Friday night all about Sailor Moon because that's what we do.
That's where all the cool kids are going to be, guys.
Yeah, so if any of you guys are in Texas, in the greater Dallas area and want to come see me, that would be awesome. Come find me. I will give you Love and Justice swag. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Everyone in the hashtag and the live chat. You guys are all amazing. We love hanging out with you every Monday night, and we will see you back here, same time, same place next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
In the name of the moon, I'll punish you.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.